Hello there and welcome to this channel update. I hope everybody's keeping well out there. If you're not in the UK, we're in the midst of our usual chilly and rainy summer here in July in the UK. And if you're in the UK, you're probably suffering with me at the moment with the beautiful non-weather we're having again. However, it is a good excuse to stay indoors and do some hobbies. That's always good. So I thought I'd give you a quick update of what I've been doing since the last update. Now, in the last update, I was very much focused on doing my bolt action winter forces for the Battle of the Bulge campaign, which I was going to do. And I've pretty much finished all of those models ready to go. And then, lo and behold, Warlord drop 3rd edition. So 3rd edition, if you haven't seen, 3rd edition bolt actions due in September, I believe. I think it's coming out in September. I did my pre-order for the rules a couple of weeks ago when they launched. And it's on the Battle of the Bulge, interestingly. So it's the launch set, or the new starter sets based on the Battle of the Bulge. So clearly Warlord have been tuning into the channel and seeing what I'm doing, he says jokingly. But because of that, I thought I'd just basically put it on hold because it's dropped, the new edition is dropping. I've got other things to do anyway. I've got everything painted, ready to go. So I thought actually I could probably do some cool stuff with that once it launches. Also, there's some new plastic models coming out from Warlord. So we've got the full. I've gone for the Fullscream Jaeger, so bought those, the winter ones, because I was going to do some Fullscream Jaeger and just kind of try and winter up what they've already got. But these are specific winter models, so excited to get those. So I've pre-ordered those as well. This is not a review of the what's come out so far in terms of the information they've provided, but it does look interesting. I just hope they keep the spirit of bolt action intact, which they seem to be saying they are. But just trying a bit more variety around your platoons and all that, which I think is a good thing. So we'll see how that develops. But in the meantime, so that's kind of on hold a little bit till the new edition launches. So in the meantime, I've been very much working on my Vikings and Saxons. So there was a battle report on the channel a couple of months ago, which again got some great feedback. So thanks all who watched and did that. It was great. But I only had one division each for the Saxons and the Vikings. So I've been working on the second divisions. So I can show you that today, what I've been doing. I've really tried to get through it because it's quite a lot of work and it's a bit tedious. And I would say, although I've been really enjoying doing Hail Caesar and Vikings and Saxons, it's my first real foray into kind of Hail Caesar. But really enjoying it. And but yeah, there's not a lot of variety for the Saxons and Vikings. There's not a huge variety of models or different types of units. But saying that, you can get a lot out of it as well. And I bought the starter sets, the Saxon Army starter set and the Viking Army starter set. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of models in there, and you can get a lot out to the actual boxes. So that's really good. I think they've been really good value for money. And you can do a lot with the poses. So it's more about doing that, but there's not a huge variety of units. I've got the Shield Wall supplement from Warlord as well, which basically gives you all your unit types. I think there's probably about 8 for each. So as you can see, not a huge amount of variety. But as I say, you can make the variety through how you're modelling them and painting them, etc. So I'll turn the camera around now. I'll go through what I've been doing, just give you a quick update. Hopefully you'll enjoy that. So we'll start with the Vikings and go from there. Right, so this is the my Vikings second division. So in Shield Wall, it does give you some army lists, or it gives shows you what kind of units and what kind of percentage of infantry, heavy infantry, skirmishers you should have in a division. So I've kind of been trying to keep to those things. So and this is where we got to. So we've got 3 units of infantry plus a unit of archers and then some skirmishers there. So starting over here, we've got our herdmen. So obviously Vikings are very heavy on their heavy infantry herdmen. They were the bulk of the army. So in my first division, I actually had 2. Yeah, I think I had 2 or 3 herdman units. So I've tried to kind of fill it out with more Bondi, which are the kind of more medium infantry as well, to try and balance that out a little bit. But for this particular division, we've got a hero leader model. So now what I've been doing for this division is I've gone down to 4 models per base. I had 5 on the first division, and although that worked really well, you are trying to cram them on a little bit. I've got these 60 by 45 bases that I use, and I found 2 reasons. One, 4 gives you a little bit more spacing on the stand, which I think works pretty well. But also I'm getting more out of the box. Like I say, although I've got 2 divisions done now, I've still got lots of models left in the box, in the starter set, so they are really good value in that respect. As I said, you can just add a few things to it. So this is the kind of leader model. Here's actually a metal model that you can get from Warlord. I bought a little blister pack of 3 kind of Viking warlords, so he's gone on the stand. And what I tend to do is put them in more of like a diamond shape. So this is kind of your front center leader model. So in the rules it talks about taking your positioning from the front center. So I've kind of used that model there as that position. So when they're in the middle of those 3 stands here, as you can see, that's your kind of center front position for the leader model. And then the other 2 stands either side are more square in terms of 2 and 2, just to keep that front rank. And the variety I was talking about earlier comes in how you pose these models. What I tend to do is I tend to go with 2 spear models, we've got somebody with an axe, somebody with a sword, and then a different type of decal for the shields. So they all look like they're from different kind of family clans, etc. Different warriors, etc. Households, and just trying to pose them slightly differently. So although there's not a lot of variety, you can do a lot with the actual models themselves. Lots of different. So there's not one model that I would say is the same. Some are similar. And also I've really mixed up the colours, and you'll see it more on the Bondi, but I've got a basic set of 4 colour schemes that you can just reverse. So you get to kind of 8 colour schemes, and it's really simple to do. You just do, you basically just, you just keep reversing it. And again, different decals on the shields, loads of nice stuff on the basing as well. And you get a nice unit there, and that's a good sort of standard unit size. You can get out with just 12 models. So I was doing 15 models on the other ones, but putting them next door to each other, I don't think they particularly, you'd notice the difference. And also units would be different sizes. It wouldn't be exactly the same. You would have exactly the same numbers of men. You're going to have some variety anyway. The main thing is keeping your frontage. So I'm keeping that 3 space frontage here. So that's the, and also added some flags, just a flag just to denote that in terms of the division. I'm using the rules where your commander, rather than having a separate stand, although these could operate as a separate stand in Hail Caesar, they do give you the options for your leader of your division to be part of a unit and kind of lead from the front, which more of a fighting general or fighting commander. So that's how I've gone with it, but I could potentially just use that base as a command stand if I wanted to, but obviously fits in quite nicely with that unit there. Then I've also got, I'll just turn that off a second, I've got my phones going off in the corner. I've also got then 2 regiments of Bondi, and again, same principle here. We've got your front, the kind of centre models in kind of a diamond shape, and this is where the colour scheme really kind of kicks in. So basically, we've just got 4 colour schemes, which I just reverse. 4 colour schemes, then you just reverse them. So a good example here, you've got this guy's got green and the brown, and then there'll be another model somewhere with brown and green. I think it's that one there. So you can just, and literally just make each stand slightly different. And again, with the decals, the different poses, you can make a lot out of the models that you get in the box sets. They're not, I wouldn't say they're my favourite models. Some of the poses are a bit clunky, but you can get some nice variety just by a bit of experimentation on different types of models, and again just makes every stand look slightly different, slightly unique. Oh, that was the guy there, so he's got the green and the brown, he's got it the other way around. Sorry, I'm dropping my model there, so you can see the difference there. So, and it just helps you to get through it quickly. And again, these aren't my best I wouldn't say these are my best painted models ever, but I think when they're all ranked up and they're a bit dirty looking as well, which I think they wouldn't be all pristine guys coming off the longboats in that period of time, the Dark Ages. So I think it's quite an effective way of getting your forces out. So that's one Bondi unit, and then the second one's exactly the same. So again, we've got the centre model, again in that kind of diamond formation, and again just come with a slightly different guy at the front. So it always looks a bit different, and again just the same colour schemes but just reversed and moved around, and again different shield decals just to give them all that kind of bit of variety. Mixing up the heads as well. So there's loads of options. I think it's more, there's not a lot of variety in terms of the units. You've got Herdman, Bondi, you've got some veterans, you've got your medium, you've got your light infantry, some skirmishers, archers. That's pretty much it really, but that's all there probably was at the time anyway, so that's fine. So that's the, so what will happen is one of these Bondi units will go into the other division. to give a regiment of Bondi, and I'll bring another one of the Herdman regiments from that first division into this division. So it'll be like 2 Herdman, 1 Bondi. Okay, and then also did some medium Bondi archers, which I had in the last one as well. And again, same principle here, just the 4 colour schemes, and again, just as you can see, I think there's a guy on the end here. So he's that colour scheme reversed. So, and again, it just adds that bit of variety to the poses. And that's a small unit. So just the 2 stands. So 3 stands will be standard unit, and then 2 stands for the small unit. And then some thrall skirmishers, and again, these are just individually based on round bases, which I think I like better than the square ones, because they can move around wherever they want. And again, just, you know, I didn't put much effort into these. Knock these out pretty quick, to be honest, guys. I mean, they're all right. They're good. It's a decent tabletop standard, I would say. And you know, when you're 3 feet away, it all looks cool. That's the way I look at it. And also, to me, once you get your basing done, you know, the whole thing starts to really come together, and you really get that sort of coherent look to it. So that's my second Viking division. So I'll now stop and just bring the Saxons up. Okay, so here are the Saxons. Now, the first thing you're going to say is they look very similar to the Vikings, Chris, and the answer is they do, and that's my point. They're kind of all very similar, but I guess the Dark Ages, it wasn't like the Napoleonic era where you had vast differences in uniforms. So, but the differences come with just the subtleties of the painting and the shields and shield design, etc. So with the Saxons, second division, now the Saxons tend to have more of their medium infantry rather than heavy infantry. So I've got 2 units of Curls and 1 unit of Thanes. And again, that Thane will be the leader of this particular division. So this will be the actual what's in the division, whereas, as I say, with the Vikings, there was another Herdman unit to come in. So let's go through these. So these are the Thanes. So again, same thing. So we've got the kind of diamond shape centre, the flag there. And again, he was from a blister pack with 3 Saxon commanders. And you can see a slightly different style now. They've got the kind of more the Norman sort of style helmets on them. They've also got these kind of Norman style shields, and also they got these quite larger shields as well. So you got so what I tend to do is put one of those, the larger shield, and one of the smaller kind of Vikings type shields on there. Again, just to give that bit of variety. And again, these are in the squares. And again, same thing. I mean, with the Thanes, you've got mainly mail armour anyway. But again, you've got a kind of that shape, larger one of those, and again, a smaller one. So, and again, spears, axes, swords. And you're just trying to mix it all up so that each stand is slightly different from the last one. And again, you get a nice variety across your models there. So that's the Thane unit, and then 2 Curls. And again, very, very similar to the Vikings, although I've got, again, 4 colour schemes that I can reverse, but they're slightly different to the Vikings. So I've got 4 different combinations of colours. I mean, they're all very similar, but they are slightly different combinations. So there are some subtle differences, but again, most of it comes from the shields designs as well. You can see the differences. And obviously the head designs are different for the Saxons. They've got more of these kind of soft caps and things, and there's more bare heads on the Saxon side of things. So, and as I said, I've got slightly different colour schemes for those guys than the Vikings. But again, very simple. And again, the basing just kind of brings it all to life, really. And again, just 12 models. So again, just reduces the painting time a little bit, having the 12. And again, just to show you the differences again. Actually, every stand is different, which is what I like. You know, in terms of colours, poses, shields. It just means it looks a bit more, just gives you that a lot of variety on the tabletop, which is always nice to see. There we go. So, and some of these shield decors, if you get the in the starter set, they've got the strips, and there's so many different designs. It's great. It's easy to kind of mix and match and make them all look slightly different. So that was the 2 Curls, and then I finished it off this time with a. Now these are, I think it's pronounced Geber or Geber light infantry. So, but I've done a full unit of this. But again, I've just gone for 3 models here, just to represent the fact they're in kind of more skirmish order. So these can be either in open order, which is kind of skirmishing, or they can be in battle line because they're light infantry. So you can actually choose. But I've modelled them in a way that they're kind of a bit more skirmish, just the 3 models. And again, for the leader model, I've done him at the front, 2 at the back, and then for these ones, they're 2 at the front, 1 at the back. Just so again you can see where that centre front, position is on there. And these are basically armed with javelins and spears. So these will be lightly armoured, well, no armour actually, just at the front skirmishing. So but I thought that'd be quite a little bit of difference. I have got a unit of slingers on order, but it hasn't arrived yet, so that'll be the final unit for this particular division, just a unit of slingers. But I'm ready to go almost. So I'm due off on holidays soon, but when I'm back, the first thing will be the another battle report with the 2 divisions, which I'm really excited about doing. So that's the Vikings and the Saxons. Like I say, lots of models in those starter sets. I think they're one of the best value box sets I've ever had, actually. There's so much in there. I've got 2 divisions out of them. Yes, I've bought a few little extra models. I've bought an extra few little metal models just to kind of for the commanders, for the generals. But everything else you can see here, all from the box set. There's so many different arms, legs, heads, weapons, body parts. So I've still probably got enough. I'm not sure for another division, maybe, but certainly enough for another 1 or 2 units. So I can either make those 2 divisions a bit larger, or have the kind of guts of a 3rd division ready to go. So I think they're really good value for money, and on the basis that you don't actually get a lot of variety in terms of the different types of units you can field. They're actually really good value for money in that respect, because it's not like you need to buy 4 different boxes to get an army. You just got 1 box and I've got an army, 2 divisions, boom, done. Just a couple of metal models and you don't even need to buy these. I mean, I did buy these separate. You don't even need to buy them, really. You could literally pose and model someone looking as epic as that if you wanted to, but I just thought it'd be nice to, again, just show that little bit of variety. The last thing I would say, I'm looking to probably do some command stands. I've talked to you about how the leader, I'm using the rules where you join the unit, but I'm thinking about doing 1 or 2 additional stands like this for both the Vikings and the Saxons, because leaders do die in that scenario. So you'll get situations where you'll be in battle, they can get wounded and killed, and you could just leave that model on the table and just kind of because it does say you can replace it with a new one, commander, just at a lower command rating. But I think it might be nice if perhaps the model changes as well. So I might just do 1 or 2 of these spare, just so in that scenario I can pop another one down and it's a different looking model. That's just me, but you don't have to do that. That's just how I'm probably going to do it. All right, that's it. That's the end of that. So yeah, thank you all for your continued support, messages. I do get a lot of questions. Hopefully, I do try and answer everybody's questions that sends me things, but I do appreciate all the likes, support, comments, and subscriptions. It's really, really, really helpful for everybody. Keeps me motivated to do stuff. Hope you're enjoying it, and I will catch you all very, very soon.